Pleased to be joined by Bill Daly, NHL Deputy Commissioner. And Bill, here we are in Paris. I was in Mannheim for a couple of days, spent some time with Daniel Hopp in the Mannheim organization. Elliotte's going to Mannheim tomorrow, NHL games in Europe once again. And, you know, if you could, because international has always been, something that's been handed to you. This is the Daly file. If you could blue sky the NHL's participation in Europe or plan for Europe, what would it look like? I know getting there is a hard thing, but in your mind, like 10, 15 years down the road, what does the NHL look like here?
So I would say continued growth on an incremental basis, right? Continued presence and growth on an incremental basis. I think we recognize the importance of kind of seeding these markets with investment, but also, hockey programs at the grassroots level helping in that. We just entered into new player development agreements with, I think, 12 European countries, 8-year agreements pursuant to which we pay them for the players we draft from here, the players we sign from here, the players who play in the league on a regular basis from here. It's actually a new formula that we developed. Continued investment, what that looks like 15 years from now. Obviously, I get the question frequently about whether we're going to have a permanent presence with European teams here. And I certainly can foresee that. I just can't predict when that happens. I think the markets have to become a little more mature. I think that, the infrastructure is not the same as North American infrastructure, and I think that's a obstacle in the short term. But I certainly can see an NHL presence in Europe in the long term.
Is there anything from European hockey, and I know it's different country to country, that maybe you look at and you say, I wonder if this could work in the NHL?
Yeah, I mean, I think we look at European leagues and play in European leagues on a regular basis. Our scouting presence or our club scouting presence in Europe has never been greater than it is currently. Whether there are ideas that come back from that, maybe there are. But I think I think we have a pretty thoughtful group already who focuses on our game in North America. They're the monitors of our game, and I think those issues and those ideas probably come up in our internal deliberations in North America, and probably won't even know that some have kind of European flavors.
One more on international hockey, World Cup, and we all understand the situation in Ukraine and what that means for Russia and Russia's participation in hockey at a lot of different levels and a lot of different tournaments. Are you still moving along the same train track regardless of the Russian situation?
Still an ongoing project, yes, and it's not dormant. It's being worked on actively. We're in regular communication with the Players Association and the representatives of the Players Association to move the project along. We're out in the market, both the media markets, but also the sponsorship markets. We're still planning a international World Cup tournament in February of 24. I can't guarantee, as I sit here today, that's necessarily going to happen, but we expect it will.
Can it be done with Russia where it is internationally right now?
Well, we have to. I mean, that's one of the things we have to evaluate, right? What is Russia's participation? Is it Russia's participation, or is it the Russian players' participation? Mm-hmm. How can that be organized if we pursue that? So that there are a couple of moving pieces, dynamics that we'll figure out as we go along. But we don't think they're going to get in the way of having the tournament.
You were talking just a few minutes ago about the maturing. Some things are more mature in North America than Europe when it comes to international hockey. And one of the things I've heard over the years about the potential of an NHL division in Europe is, will European fans pay the same ticket prices that North American fans will? Is that one of the things that still is a factor when it comes to a future European division?
Well, we certainly run into that issue, when we put on the Global Series games. Quite frankly, what will the market bear, or what can it bear for professional sports or for professional hockey at the NHL level? So sure, that is something that you have to take into consideration. But quite frankly, that you have to take that into consideration in North America as well when you're expanding in North America, and what is what do the local economies look like, and can they support a professional sports franchise? Charging top dollar.
Victor Mete released a statement the other day on social saying that he'd been interviewed as part of the investigation into the World Junior event in 2018. Where does that stand right now, Bill?
It's ongoing. It's ongoing. We have interviews scheduled this week, so we continue down the road. Is there a timeline on when you think we could get closure on this? I'm hesitant to give a timeline because I just don't know how long it's going to take at the end of the day. As I said, it's moving along. In a perfect world, we'd love to have finality or resolution, before training camp. But is that going to happen? I actually, at this point, I don't think it will. Okay. So, we're going to do a thorough, comprehensive job, and we'll see where that leads us. Is everybody participating? Yes. Okay. There was an article by Robin Doolittle in the Globe and Mail where the victim was said that she wasn't comfortable with how public that this had become. Is she participating in the investigation? She has participated to this point in a kind of defined way, but she has, yes. Okay. The NHL and NHLPA are bringing back their rookie showcase in Washington right after Labor Day. Is there going to be any program as part of that in terms of the League and the Players Association talking to players about, look, we've seen too many of these things come to light and we have to change the way we behave in situations? The answer is actually we have a rookie orientation program which follows up on the showcase that you're talking about. Yes. And so we're going to have 120, 130 of our young players in that camp. And yes, there'll be attention given to that subject.
As we head into this season, it feels like, because last year there was the Olympic question and things getting compressed, and then the season stretched out, and here we are in July, and holy smokes, here we go. It's August and we're heading into September in training camps. Does it feel to you like finally this is going to be, and I'm going to always use the air quotes on this one, a normal season?
Yeah, I mean, that's the plan. And it does feel like we're getting there. I mean, we've gotten there gradually, right? And you mentioned the fact that, we're really only 2 weeks behind schedule for this summer. But I'll tell you, those 2 weeks are important weeks, right? Yeah. It makes the summer feel short. Because it is short. And, the fact that we're turning the page very soon and starting the new season, it's hard to believe the summer has gone by as fast as it's gone by. But we do expect that next year will be a normal season. We'll award a Stanley Cup at a normal time. Mm-hmm. We'll have a draft at a normal time. Free agency will start at a normal time. And we'll all have our 2.5 months summer instead of a month and a half. At the Board of Governors meeting last year, you and the commissioner had talked about the last season plus 2 more before the cap would go up. And then I heard some talk that maybe it was moved to last season plus 3 more. But I've been talking to some people in the last couple of weeks, and they're a bit more optimistic. They think that there's a chance the cap goes up sooner. Do you believe that's possible or no? I think it's possible.
Okay. What would you think is the most likely scenario? Where are we kind of looking at it right now?
You know what? It's I've seen some preliminary estimates recently, mm-hmm. which would make me more optimistic on the cap going up sooner. Whether that's in 2 seasons or 3 seasons, I think it's probably more likely than not in 2 seasons rather than 3.
Okay. Because you gave me kind of a look there that makes me say that you know something that the premise of my question might not have been very good. That's what I was wondering.
No, I actually, it might be good. The fact that our most recent numbers, both are kind of year-end numbers from last year, but also kind of projections for next year are very solid.
Okay.
And the better we do collectively from a revenue standpoint, the faster that we get to a stage where the cap can go. Is tied again to revenue.
We have to wrap here. Is there any other league business that people should know about?
No.
See previous comment by E. Friedman. Let me ask you one quick thing about the Ottawa Senators and that organization. Do we have a sense of where that situation is heading with ownership?
I don't think there's been any material change in kind of where they are. I think Eugene's daughters are kind of assessing the situation. Obviously, management has operated as per usual over the course of the summer. I think they've had a great off season. Mm-hmm. I think the people in Ottawa have reason to look forward to a pretty good hockey team, and I think so we'll see how that all plays out. But I have no inside information to break.
Very good. Released. Thanks,
Thank
Bill.
you. Thanks, guys.